Hello, welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And for some strange reason, I want to talk about witches, wizards, and the term actually of warlock. And when I was younger, I thought warlock um, basically meant it's a witch that is male that is specifically talented in war, hence warlock. So, in certain, I would say, traditions, male witches uh, should naturally be good at like protective magic and defensive magic. And in some traditions, the women are better healers and like spirit mediums. So, women of the earth, you know, so it's all about like healing. And I would say that definitely has to do with what's needed at the time. But certain individuals are very talented at protective magic and fighting the magical wars. So we've narrowed it down. They're not wizards, they're not shamans, they're witches. And I would say they're not gypsies. So each title, each classification is nuanced and unique and subtle, but then you're either in this category or you're in that category. You're on this team or you're on that team. So for me, the word warlock has always symbolized something very powerful and not for everyone. And you're definitely like, it's a title for sure. So I would assume you earn it. So we can redefine this for modern times. We can be trendy in a positive, accepting attitude. You can take it down that road and you can reclaim the word for yourself. Um, some people are like, oh, it means oath breaker. What was an oath but a binding spell or a curse or a hex? So a warlock is actually really talented, specialized in breaking hexes, breaking spells, which you think might be a lot of people, certain people, I would say certain people who work with magic have talent towards spellcraft. They have talent towards hexing. So just because you're a witch doesn't mean you're good at working with negative intention or making things fully manifest to your desires, in certain ways. So I would say, once again, you have to really know yourself, where your talents lie, where your natural gifts are, what you're also working towards, and who you actually are. So, know yourself is really important when you finally get around to labeling yourself, identifying, or becoming that character, you know? So, so if I do a personal inventory of myself, I don't really get into wars. I would say my defensive magic isn't the best. Ranked 1 to 10 is probably a 4, which is really tragic. And then I look at my goals going, what is my life about? Where am I going? And it's like, well, actually, I really like working with divine beings. Actually, I really like channeling. I'm not even the greatest healer, you know? I don't really care about all the animals and plants in the natural world. So I'm not really a green witch, I'm not really a healer. And I would say I'm not really the greatest empath because, you'd have to care more. That isn't the trajectory. Those aren't like gold medals I'm going for. So I would definitely say I'm not a healing witch, or maybe I'm not even a witch. So Warlock is out of the question. I do not meet that category. So, what a lot of people don't understand about a magical development, whether it's going to be through a system, a school, a lineage, there is your first level. Some people would, however you label it, and that's usually, I feel drawn towards, I'm obsessed with the idea of learning magic and whatever. And that's kind of like a beginner's period, a beginner's level. And this level could last lifetimes, where I call that the outer circle, where you're reading up on it and you're learning, and it's very enchanting that way. Uh, Getting the education and practicing, and what is this, and you're working it, and you could hit really advanced levels. And even at this level, uh, it's enough to deal with all of your human worldly needs for many lifetimes, okay? So, not saying one is better than the other, but there's a point where you have to basically be able to travel the crossroads. You have to be able to leap over that line. You have to walk between worlds. And so just being in between worlds is a powerful place. But if you can walk all the way over and come all the way back, if you can do this, that's high level inner circle magic. This is where outer circle magicians, witches, and stuff won't understand where you gain that knowledge, that deep insight. Some people are born with that ability, those gifts. And these people, you could say, are coming from the other side. They're crossing back over. So some people are coming and some people are going. Some people are going for the first time. Some people are coming back for another round. So this is where we get natural talented people in the magical arts, is because there is familiarity with this other side. What is this other side? It could be a whole nother dimension, okay? So you're on one side at outer circle. So you're looking for books, you're looking for mentors, how to, and you're kind of reawakening and discovering for yourself, and you're moving to go across the bridge, to go to the other side of an expanded universe, okay? And so it doesn't matter what you are. It could have been religion that started you moving that direction. It could have been new age stuff, could have been science, could have been psychic stuff. It doesn't matter. You're hungry and you want to know more, so you're going. Some people are coming back, and they have tasks to do, like share how to do things, download, give information. And so they're operating at, they have an advantage. They have another level of access. So when they're at outer circle level, for them it's more of a remembrance. It's like a quick study, a natural talent. They quickly move up the ranks. They're just gifted. They're just blessed. They just have the connection. And so you get the title of Warlock versus just being another witch, you know. And why would I say that? It's because your work with spirits is a lot easier, less effort, more intense than I would say others. And so this is really important because you're breaking hexes, you're fighting magical wars. You have to be able to understand and work with energy and intention and magic. You have to be able to work with beings at ease, and you have to have enough personal power to basically rewrite contracts with demons. Okay? So you have to kind of be able to see through the glamour, all the bells and whistles, all the add-on bull crap that people put on everything. Uh oh, decorations is what I liked. People like to put on decorations on top of magic. They, they have a character and they decorate it. They deck it all out, you know, when and so you have to be able to see through or take off all the decorations and see what is. And so, and you would think, with great power has more responsibility. I would say instead of responsibility, but I like the term respond ability. Your ability to respond is responsibility. Yeah, it's going to be heightened. It's going to be more intense, more involved. And then the results are also going to be more heightened, more intense, more resolved. So I would say accountability. There's more accountability when you're actually given more power. When you can see deeper beyond the veils, when you're moving through more dimensions, as New Agers would call it, when you're fifth dimensional. So I would definitely say witchcraft is kind of different. And hereditary lines, bloodlines are a real deal when working with the spirits and the gods. Like, it's a real thing. There's a real vocabulary of magic. Okay? The traditions can vary, the decorations can vary, but there's some real basics: fire, water, earth, and air, and the spirit world. When you got those things going down, you are entitled to the title of witch. And if you're specializing in protections and fighting, like, I don't know what they call it, offensive and defensive magic, you're entitled to Warlock. And it is the title traditionally given to men. And this is all according to me, my mind, and how it works. Women have definitely dominated the title witch. And so we haven't even talked about high priest and high priestess. So for those who are also moving up the ranks in personal power and have connections to hereditary gods and goddesses and beings, you might be bringing in this power for education, empowerments, running a circle, helping other people level up. You actually might be the high priest or the high priestess. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize there are royal bloodlines within the magical witch crafting. You actually might be the queen of the witches. You might be the king of the witches. And that's based on your DNA. That's based upon the magical current that flows in your veins. Uh, and you'll know it because the gods come with it. The power comes with it. Uh, those and the curiosity comes with it. So yeah, you could be what I call just a part of the masses of witches, the stock, the herd of witches. That's fine. We all, the world of Harry Potter, they needed to fill that whole universe, that whole witching community with millions of students and families and practitioners to create the cities and the kingdoms. But within that, there were high ranking families. There were known talents, you know? So, same within the actual magical community. Uh, and I would say, how would you know this? It takes one to know one. So, this is where self knowledge, know thyself, becomes really important. And this is what I call book of shadow information. This would be like what I call initiate information only, you know? So, an initiate is someone who knows what the hell they're doing. An adept, I would I would say, was someone on the outer circle. Once you kind of gain that knowledge and you have a really good you really understand the terrain, you're an initiate. And your experience initiates you into higher levels of understanding and wisdom that you won't be getting at a bookstore or online or through most social media channels. The only way to get it is to go to the source. If you're not getting it from a god, a goddess, a high ranking spirit that's not a disincarnated human, uh, or a living witch or wizard, uh, then you have to get it through yourself, you know? Hence, so I'd say that's the value of working with spirit, the spirit world, gods, deities, and so forth. So, if that's how you choose to define yourself, go right ahead. And then, kind of what was coming to my mind earlier, it was like obsidian and garnet. So, male witches who would like to create a ritual to initiate themselves into the title of Warlock, and you have the prerequisite, you're good at magic, you get results, you have a natural tendency to be able to work with spirits. So you can do exorcisms, you can shake hands with the devil, basically, you can work with demons at ease, and you have friends that are demons in origins. You have you have access to the book of shadows, which is your ability to cross the worlds, to go between, to move into the shadow realm. And you're really good at defensive and offensive magic. Like, you specialize in protecting your family, your friends. You specialize in breaking hexes and curses. You are fit to grant yourself to the title of Warlock, to redefine it if you think it needs a redefinition. So there are a lot of muggles, there are a lot of sheep, there are a lot of herd people within the magical community who don't understand the inner workings of magic. That's okay, but if that is your source, you might be led astray, and you might be find out, oh, I'm actually more of a priest. Or I'm not really a witch either. I might be a wizard. Or, you know, or I really just like working with the fairies. I don't want to work with demons. Um, I'm so you might actually, so this could be insightful on how you define yourself. And if I think after a lot of time working with magic and being go with what you like, okay? Do what you like to do. Go follow. It's not exactly follow your heart in a new age way. It's follow that hunger, follow that curiosity, what you're actually obsessed about. So the path of a warlock is a path of power. And this is why I don't use Wicca. I don't acknowledge Wicca at all. And this is why I don't acknowledge most people. Because you shouldn't be afraid to be obsessive about magic. You shouldn't be, it's a power grab. And to claim it and to own it. How do we claim it? With the word, with the title. It's not just vibrations, it's will, intention, and so willpower. Why do I want it? Why am I defining it this way? Why does it have to be so? This, like, that becomes a very solid line. It's very polarizing. So, yeah, you're going to trigger a lot of people, but that's why you're the warlock, you know. Uh that's so it takes a really powerful personality, character. Like, doesn't mean you have to be bold and dramatic. It's just underneath it, there's a driving will that's driving you. It's driving you. And it's that same will that will break hexes. It's that same will that will put up an impenetrable barrier. Like, you're a warrior class witch, okay? You're not a wizard. You're an effing witch. You're gonna be working with elemental forces. You're gonna have a connection with fire, water, earth, and air, and herbs and crystals and stones, and however. So witches work with the earth primarily. That is low magic. The elements do their bidding. And then, with this deepening power of working from a base level of material stuff, you start getting in touch with the soul and the essence, the inner life workings of these things, which opens the portal to spirit, and then you're also, and this can happen on many different levels. It doesn't have to happen in order. But you're going to be working with the other side. You're going to be working with spirits. That could move into ancestral work, but it doesn't have to. You might specialize with demons. What are demons? They're just another ranking being that aren't human. Okay, they're not the old gods demonized. I don't follow that narrative. So there's a lot of crap out there. Demons are demons. They come from the demonic realm. Angels are angels. They come from the angel realm. They all have their realms. They all have their places. And we could go into little nuanced situations, the what ifs and anything is possible. But within your own mind, within your own magical practice, within your narrative, within your story, this is your story. It would be good to have some really clear, defined terms, boundaries. Think about it. Go, yeah, in my practice, in my world, the way I connect to source, if you connect to source, it looks like this. It's defined this way. So once again, we go to the power of the word and the power of the definition of the word. When it's really clear, that's like a laser line. So even just talking about this, your magic is probably increased. I know mine did. Because I was like, how could I level up my defenses? Dude, get really clear on your terminology. It's not. So I call it mass stock witches are going to get all their information from someone else, assuming they know what they're talking about. They're going to pull it from a dictionary. They're going to pull it from history books. It's all secondhand knowledge. It's all written by probably a human. Okay? Obviously, it's not going to be accurate. There's going to be a lot of missing pieces. Use your intuition. Use that power within to come up with a truth that resonates not just with your personality / your character ego, but with your soul. Move at that deeper level, at that deeper layer to have more powerful magic, more powerful title, and work for it. I've spent 48 years, so probably about 40 years working towards my magical practice. And so I definitely have a passion for the discipline, and it's never going to end. I've already dedicated my life to exploring the unknown, the other realm, crossing the bridge, moving back and forth. That is my goal. So what's wrong with that, right? You only have you to answer to. No one can tell you how to live your life. No one can tell you who you are and how to define yourself. And if they're going to be triggered by you using the word warlock, if they're going to be triggered by you being able to break all the hexes and showing others how weak they are, if they're going to be triggered that you're willing to fight magical battles, probably for witches, and maybe even for demons, let them get triggered. I would say the more triggered they are, probably you're on to something. And the deeper your knowledge will get. So for all you new warlocks out there, this video is for you. So the ritual is simple. Draw a huge black X. Grab a piece of garnet. Grab a piece of obsidian. Put one on one side and one on the other. Use your intuition. Know your polarities. So if you don't know anything about polarities, your right and your left side of your body, your lunar, your solar, your masculine, your feminine, work it out. And, create a little ritual, by garnet and by obsidian. I grant myself the title of warlock. From this day forth, I will be known as a warlock. There you go. And write it any way you want, knowing what is the warlock? Someone who can travel between realms, someone who can with ease and talent and skill break curses and hexes, fight magical wars, defensive and offensive, and work with demons to break oaths or hexes, binding spells. So when someone vows to get revenge, they're taking an oath. They're making a promise to a god. Do my will and I will, pray to you and say your name or get your tattoo or whatever. When they're making blood pacts and blood oaths, this is getting into real magic, Like, this is like getting into, stuff is getting pretty real. If you have the power to break someone's blood oath, you're a warlock. Okay? So be proud of yourself. Have a little dignity. Wear black. Look like the Raven King, you know? You can dress the part. Now decorate yourself. Now that you got the bones, the blood, and the meat, now you're entitled to wear all the props and have fun with your life. That's the end of this video.